Some of the fiercest battles in the smartphone industry are fought in the budget segment. In India, the 10,000 rupee to 15,000 rupee space is quite crucial, and a lot of manufacturers keep refreshing their offerings in order to stay competitive. On one hand, we have the Xiaomi Mi A1 running stock Android on powerful hardware. On the other hand is the futuristic looking Honor 7X. So which one should you put your money on? Keep watching, we tell you the answer. One glance at both phones and it is obvious that the Honor 7X seems more stylish than the Xiaomi Mi A1. The trendy 18:9 aspect ratio helps the Honor 7X pack in a big 5.93-inch display with Full HD Plus resolution. The Xiaomi Mi A1 sports a 16:9 5.5-inch Full HD display, which isn't exciting. Both phones have metal unibodies, dual cameras at the back and rear-mounted fingerprint scanners. We found the Xiaomi Mi A1 to be very slippery while the Honor 7X offered a fairly decent grip. Both phones have similar dimensions, but the Honor 7X is marginally thicker with a slightly larger 3340 mAh battery compared to the 3080 mAh battery in the Mi A1. Because of its looks and design, the Honor 7X has this point in the bag. Looking good isn't enough though. Specifications are crucial at this price point and both smartphones pack in decent hardware. The Honor 7X is powered by Huawei's octa-core Kirin 659 SoC with 4GB of RAM. You get to choose between 32GB and 64GB storage variants. The Xiaomi Mi A1 is powered by the Snapdragon 625, which also has 8 cores, and it also has 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. Both phones have hybrid dual SIM slots for expandable storage. But while the Mi A1 accepts cards up to 128GB, the Honor 7X can work with cards of up to 256GB. It is also worth noting that the Xiaomi Mi A1 sports a USB Type-C port compared to the traditional micro USB port on the Honor 7X. The Xiaomi Mi A1 also has an infrared transmitter on the top, which can come handy to control home appliances. We'll call it a tie between the two. This is where the two devices are quite different. The Honor 7X runs Huawei's custom EMUI 5.1 on top of Android 7.0 Nougat. Honor has added a number of customizations, but there's also some pre-installed bloatware. The new 18:9 aspect ratio means that some apps have to run letterboxed or are stretched to fit the screen. The Xiaomi Mi A1 on the other hand is a part of Google's Android One program. This makes it eligible for 2 years of guaranteed software and security updates. You get the stock Android experience with next to no bloatware pre-installed. With better support for software and guaranteed updates, the Mi A1 gets the point in this round. While both phones have good hardware powering them, the Xiaomi does have the edge when it comes to benchmarks. The Mi A1 scores better than the Honor 7X in most benchmarks. In graphics benchmarks, Xiaomi steals a clear lead, possibly helped by the fact that it has to push out fewer pixels. If you plan to play a lot of games, the Mi A1 seems like the better pick. While the Honor 7X has a slightly bigger battery compared to the Mi A1, Xiaomi's offering delivers better battery life in comparison. The A1 managed 10 hours 18 minutes in our HD video loop test, while the Honor 7X ran out at 8 hours 7 minutes. If battery life is a priority, then the A1 should be your pick. While both smartphones have dual rear cameras, both companies have chosen different configurations. The Honor 7X sports a 16-megapixel primary sensor along with a 2-megapixel depth sensor. On the other hand, the Xiaomi Mi A1 has one 12-megapixel sensor with a wide-angle lens and another 12-megapixel sensor with a telephoto lens. In terms of usability, the cameras on the A1 are more versatile. The Honor 7X has an 8-megapixel selfie shooter, while the Xiaomi Mi A1 has a 5-megapixel selfie shooter. In our camera tests, the Mi A1 managed to score better than the Honor 7X, so it grabs this point from the 7X as well. The battle was fought hard, and while both phones deliver specific and different benefits, we do have a winner. The Honor 7X scores when it comes to design and comfort and packs in impressive hardware on paper. However, the Xiaomi A1 impressed us more in terms of software and inch ahead with its performance. Another thing to keep in mind is that while the Mi A1 is readily available, you will need to register for flash sales to buy the Honor 7X at the moment. With all the scores added up, the Xiaomi Mi A1 wins by a small margin. Thanks for watching. For all things tech, log on to gadgets360.com.